Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I'm going to give you my reaction and review to the band BABYSITTER with a song which has a kanji in the name, which I didn't pre-research, therefore I'll have to just research what it translates as later and put that on the title, which I assumed they did before you clicked on this. Anyway, you might already know how this works by now, which is that I'm giving you my reaction and review. However, I just actually did my reaction before this, so if you want to see the reaction, click on the link in the description below. We have to do it this way now. It gives you a separate player where you can see the reaction. Otherwise, I'm about to jump into doing the review straight away now. So have you seen my reaction? Have you heard the song? Do you need to see my reaction? Are you ready for the review? Many important questions, but if you're not sure of the answer, you might want to pause this and check out the reaction now. Otherwise, here comes the review, here comes the review, here comes the review. It's review time. All right, so basically this one really caught me. I didn't know what to make of this. I'd seen the thumbnail and I kind of got the image. It's like, oh, it's in a 4:3 ratio, the video, and it looks like it's done on an old-fashioned set. I know that the Japanese have a bit of an affinity, a love for doing these sort of faux old-style videos, and I've been caught out. Sometimes I've said, oh, this actually doesn't look like it's as old as it is, and it turns out it is, and sometimes I've been right about guessing these sort of pretend old videos. This one, I'm guessing, is not as old as it looks. I think they faked making it look like it's more of an old video. I might be totally wrong. It might be somewhere in the middle. So anyway, we had one the other day, which was, it looked like it was shot in the 60s, but I kind of guessed maybe it was modern and it turned out to be in the middle, like in the late 90s or something. Anyway, so with this one, like I say, I'm going to take a guess that it's a relatively recent band. Also, the video was really well cut and it had some really good sort of recording in it. So good enough that I think it's a modern one. Now, there was a lot of things to unpack on this. First of all was the fact that obviously we're talking about a four-piece band and they sounded really big for a four-piece band, as tends to be the case when you have a band who is more funky about what they do, when everyone is concentrating on playing something individually quite different, when no one's really sort of holding notes too much. All of the notes are quite sharp and precise, and that's what this band seems to be about. Massive credit. The first thing I noticed was the drummer. The drummer had a similar quality to the drummer from the Korean band Walking After You, who we've mentioned quite a lot on this channel. We're going to be going back to doing a bit more of them now. We haven't actually had a chance to cover them since we restarted the channel, but we will be coming back to them. They had a similar quality to the drummer of Walking After You in that there was nothing particularly overly complicated or technical going on in her drumming. What was working was the fact that she was just sort of hitting the right rhythm and style to accent every part of the song. So she knew when to go for a sort of slower, heavier, bang, bang sort of beat. She knew when to do sort of sharp, quick rolls on the hats. For, again, really simple technique, but just added a real funkiness, really added a sort of sense of what the tempo, of what the mood of each part of the song was supposed to be. Then the two guitarists were doing quite different things. One was being more sort of sharp and funky. The other one was kind of more just accenting the notes while singing what was a very interesting melody. Bass player was really good. Again, nothing overly complicated, but really just walking around and just sort of picking the right notes that really gave everything a bit of movement, kept everything feeling kinetic, moving, sounding fresh. I really liked the overall feel of the song. It was great on that aspect. Also, they had, as I noted later on, they had kind of like, I was pitching it as a Hammond organ. Maybe it was like a different type of electrical organ, kind of had a bit of a sort of gospel-y church organ style to it as well. That was really good. That was doing that sort of, I usually pen it as a late 90s trick. There used to be this thing like late 90s pop rock where they would always just sort of underpin any rock band would have their sound underpinned with like a electric or a Hammond organ played quietly in the background, which was just really there to thicken the sound in a kind of a subconscious way. It's a really good instrument for that. And that's exactly what they did here. And it really worked. You know, it really added a lot, especially in places like the bridge. And the main sort of riff bit as well. I just think it was a bit supporting there. I was given sort of good support there as well. So there was lots of places when that was working, and I can't remember exactly all the places in because it kind of crept up on me over time as I was listening to a song, which is a really good sign of a good mix. And this song again was really well mixed and well produced. Simple stuff again, you know, simple mix, simple production, but just right. So this is a real example of a song that's on paper, everything about it is extremely simple, and yet it just works really well. Now, when it comes to the composition, we're always on this channel, We try to give the positive and negative. I will point out some slight gripes I have with it. I mean, I liked the melody. I liked the way it built up. when initially the chorus came in, and the bit where I think was the chorus, it starts with this really good sort of vocal harmony bit, and the chorus kind of goes through two phases. The second phase, I mean, they might not consider it all to be the chorus, but to me it was all the chorus. It was a two-phase chorus, and the second phase seemed to be longer and not quite as engaging. Didn't quite have as much of an interesting melody to it. It was good, but not quite as engaging as that first bit, which I wish we'd heard more of. So, you know, overall, the chorus was good, but I felt it was weighted the wrong way. I thought that sort of nice harmonic bit was much more engaging. I would be much more in line to get that caught in my head and sort of want to come back to that. And, you know, whereas the second bit, which was played out a bit more, was kind of a more simple melody that didn't quite grab me as hard. Might have been some lyrical content that flew past me. It was quite a quick song, in all fairness, lyrically, that I didn't really get, that made that bit more weighty emotionally. However, it just felt like I felt there was the first part of the chorus should have been accented more, as that was the more interesting, engaging, I feel like choral part, you know, because it had that harmony in it. So, as you know, that was fine. The second verse, you know, it did that wonderful thing that I always love about Japanese rock bands, especially female Japanese rock bands, which is they're great at flipping up the second verse and doing something a little bit different, usually changing the rhythm, changing the below parts of the song to give the melody something new to work around, something new to play with. They did that nicely, again, in the technique that seemed to mark this song. It was simple and yet just, you know, all the right things in the right place. And a big shout out for the fact that I love the bridge. You guys know how much I love bridges if you've been following this song, if you've been following this channel, if you've been following the channel we had before, especially. I even gave an award in our sort of best of for our first year of broadcast. I gave an award for the best bridge as well. This had a really good bridge. I liked it. I like the fact that it was just little more than just a build up. It just built up and up and up. And it was nice the way they did that. Nice the way that the chords occasionally, like the bass line occasionally went down just to give more room for other parts of the arrangement to ramp up. It was nicely sort of executed, the way that whole bridge worked. And then it broke into the, if you like, the classic Japanese rock technique, which is you start the last chorus with a breakdown where you sing the melody over everything just being a bit quieter, and then everything comes back in. So the arrangement for the best part was really nicely done. It had a real sort of classic Japanese rock vibe. It was written with that style. It was simple but precise. Everything was in the right place. As a general, the arrangement was really good. It certainly didn't outstay its welcome. It felt really active. And I will put a bit of that down to the video. Like I say, the video, don't know how old this was, but the cutting was really beautifully done. They knew when to sort of speed things up, when things slowed things down. The camera was very rarely steady, but it wasn't whizzing around so much that you couldn't see what was going on. It was just a really nicely executed performance studio type video. So yeah, a lot of positives to take home from that. I thought it was really enjoyable. I'm definitely down for hearing more of this band. I really like what I heard here, and I think they do deserve more listens. So are they an old band? Are they even around anymore? Or are they a new band? And was I right? This video is newer than it looks. Give me an idea, guys. As always, I avoid doing any research because this channel is all about conversation, and I love the fact that you guys steer me through and lead me on these long journeys with a lot of these groups. I'm really interested in hearing your opinions as well, if you like this song or not, whether you're new to the band or not. You know how way this all works. Conversation, get in there, respectfully give your opinions, discuss your views. That's what this channel's all about. And of course, as always, if you want to get deeper into discussing Japanese music with us and everyone in the community, there's a link in the description below as well for our Discord, as well as our Reddit. Great place to suggest new songs for me to review, as well as my Facebook, Twitter, and of course we have that wonderful thing, Patreon. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters who keep this channel looking so nice and posted and lit and nice sound and cameras and everything. So massive thank you to you guys. As always, we're not monetized, so the Patreon is a huge support and you guys are wonderful. Whether you're on the Patreon or not though, thank you for making it through to the end of the video, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon on the next video. But until then, for now, from Japan, ciao ciao.